Welcome to the Dam Owner Academy, brought to you by the Association of State Dam Safety Officials, or ASDSO, a series of videos to educate and inform on all aspects of operating and maintaining a dam safely. This video will cover rehabilitation projects. Like all infrastructure, dams are built with an expected design life and require maintenance to operate as intended. They don't last forever without regular upkeep. Many minor issues can be addressed as part of a maintenance program, including erosion, animal burrows, overgrown vegetation, and small repairs of concrete structures. However, most dams will eventually require significant upgrades or repairs. These larger projects are typically called dam rehabilitations and are intended to address all the identified deficiencies. Given the potential consequences of failure, postponing critical rehabilitation of a dam creates undue risk for the public and is therefore strongly discouraged. However, owners often put off this work because they feel ill-prepared to manage an expensive, multifaceted project requiring coordination with various state and federal authorities and stakeholders. This video provides an overview of rehabilitation projects when they're needed and the steps you can take when your dam requires significant repairs or improvements. There are many reasons that a dam might require rehabilitation, including age, poor condition, downstream development, and change in regulations. Many dams were built decades ago when both safety regulations were less mature and the state of engineering practice was less refined. In addition, many dams were originally constructed in rural areas, but now have significant development downstream, resulting in hazard creep to a higher hazard level. State dam safety regulations are often based on hazard classification, which is a measure of the potential impact should improper operation or dam failure occur. Increased downstream development may subject the dam to more stringent safety requirements than it was originally designed to meet. Additionally, upstream development in the dam's watershed may increase runoff, necessitating a change in the inflow design flood. Finally, dams deteriorate over time, whether from normal wear and tear or during extreme loading events such as storms and earthquakes. Serious problems that require rehabilitation or significant repairs may include sinkholes, large cracks, slope movement, significant erosion or undermining, uncontrolled seepage or drain discharge, or substantial movement. These issues may be identified during dam safety inspections or during day-to-day operation, maintenance, and monitoring. The first step to rehabilitation is planning. Many owners of dams do not have the resources to navigate a rehabilitation project without the input of qualified, experienced engineers. It's often necessary to partner with a qualified engineering consultant to guide you through each step of the process, including project planning, design of remediations, cost estimating, permitting, procuring a contractor, and construction. Dam safety regulatory personnel can also be of assistance in planning and should be kept informed during the entire rehabilitation process. A variety of alternatives can be considered when planning the repair or rehabilitation of an aging dam, depending on the needs, priorities, and resources. One of the most common reasons for rehabilitation is to increase a dam's ability to withstand extreme flood events. A more significant design storm can be safely handled in several ways, including increasing the capacity of a spillway, raising the dam to increase its storage capacity, or armoring the dam so that it can survive overtopping flows. Seepage problems may be remediated with filters, drains, or relief wells. Slope stability concerns may be addressed by flattening the slope or adding an earthen berm to its toe. Rehabilitation projects may also consider many ways to repair or remediate damage due to extreme weather or long-term deterioration. Finally, if rehabilitation costs exceed the value or benefits provided by the dam, you may consider decommissioning or removal of the structure. Part of project planning should be a detailed alternatives analysis. Such a study should consider the advantages and disadvantages of the potential options for repair, remediation, replacement, or removal. Factors to consider include capital costs, life cycle costs, permitting requirements, environmental impacts, and stakeholder input. It's worth putting this early effort into finding the appropriate solution before jumping directly into the final design. Once you have a remediation plan, you can begin design. Usually, a professional engineer with experience in dam design will provide interim deliverables for your review. Take the time you need to thoroughly consider the project details at each design milestone to make sure that your project team is on the same page and the design is moving in the right direction. Typical design milestones are set at a conceptual level, or 25%, preliminary, or 75%, and final, or 100%. The further the project advances, the more difficult and expensive it is to make a change. Your engineer should also submit an opinion of the project's probable construction cost at each milestone. Although you will not know the project's actual cost until construction is completed, the engineer's estimate can help you budget for your project. Keep in mind that remediation projects for dams do not always follow the path of traditional civil works projects. Costs associated with engineering, legal, and permitting can be a significant proportion of total project costs, in addition to construction. Finally, check with your state to see if loans or grants are available to help rehabilitate your structure. Other funding programs or partners at the federal level may also be available. Check with your consultant or ASDSO's website for more information. Dam rehabilitation projects often require permits before construction may begin. Even small dams may be governed by many local, state, and federal regulations. Local ordinances, including environmental and floodplain rules, will often apply to work on dams. Your project may also require approval from state agencies if it involves work on a historic structure or involves impacts to publicly owned lands. In addition, your state dam safety program will usually require review and approval of plans before construction can start. Finally, your project may require federal permits if it involves placing fill within waters of the U.S. or could disrupt the habitat of endangered species. Early consultation with your state dam safety office and an environmental consultant can help identify the necessary permits for your rehabilitation and usher the project through the various regulatory reviews. Once you have a design and the necessary permits, it's time to qualify and procure a contractor for construction. Most rehabilitation projects will use a competitive process to select a contractor. This process may involve competitive bidding, where the price is the sole basis of selection, or competitive sealed proposals, where additional factors can be considered, such as the contractor's qualifications, schedule, and overall technical approach. Most states have rules about procuring construction contractors, so make sure you're familiar with the regulations if you represent a public entity. During construction, you should have a contract administrator to oversee the work. Whether an internal staff member or a consultant, this person will maintain project records, review testing data, route submittals for review and approval, negotiate changes, and process pay applications. Most rehabilitation projects also require an inspector as a quality control measure for the owner. This person will be on site during construction to ensure that the work is performed in general accordance with the contract plans and specifications, the design intent, and applicable regulations. Regulators may also need to inspect construction on a periodic basis or during critical phases of the job. Finally, many states require that the design engineer be involved in a support role during construction to address concerns, answer questions, and document that the final project was completed in general accordance with the approved plans and specifications. The engineer may develop a temporary emergency action plan during construction to minimize the risk to public and workers on the dam. Issues often arise during construction that could not have been reasonably predicted during the design phase, so it's prudent for your engineer to remain involved in the project all the way through construction. Deficiencies with a dam will likely get worse with time. Design, permitting, and construction of rehabilitation projects can be lengthy, so expediency in starting the process is critical. Owners of dams must recognize the consequences of failure and be proactive and vigilant in maintaining the safety and integrity of their structures. The Association of State Dam Safety Officials has free resources available to help owners operate and maintain their dams safely. Contact your state dam safety program for additional help, and be sure to check out ASDSO's website at damowner.org for more information.